a young city, a daring deception, and an unexpected end. And in the finale, you'll learn who stopped a war without lifting a single weapon. The myth of the rape of the Sabine women is one of the oldest in Roman tradition. It appears in the works of Livy, Ab Urbe Condita, Plutarch, Life of Romulus, and Dionysius of Halicarnassus. This tale recounts the early years after the founding of Rome, when the new city lacked one essential element: women. So Romulus made a bold move. He invited his neighbors to a festival and, during the festivities, abducted their daughters. A young Rome and its first problem: no women. After founding the city of Rome, Romulus gathered people from across Italy, former slaves, outlaws, exiles. He offered them asylum, land, law, and order. But the city had a serious flaw: no women. And without marriage, there would be no families, no children, no future. Romulus first tried diplomacy, asking neighboring tribes to allow intermarriage. The response was humiliating. "We will not give our daughters to a band of vagabonds." So Romulus decided to act. The Consualia festival, a trap in honor of a god. Romulus proclaimed a grand festival, the Consualia, in honor of Consus, god of council and the underworld. He promised races, games, and spectacle, and all neighboring peoples were invited. The Latins, Volsci, and Etruscans came, but most notably the Sabines. They arrived with their families, daughters, and sisters. Plutarch describes the Romans as welcoming hosts until Romulus gave the signal. Livy writes, "At a prearranged signal, the Romans seized the young women. There was chaos. The women screamed, fathers resisted, but the Romans overpowered them. Rome had found its wives after the abduction, not rape, but forced marriage." What followed is a turning point in the myth. According to Livy, Romulus personally addressed the abducted women. He claimed it was not an act of shame, but an opportunity to become mothers of a new people. They were promised lawful marriage, honor, and status. Some wept, others resisted, but over time, Roman sources claim they accepted their fate. Families were formed and children born to the Sabine. Women became part of Rome's growing identity. This stage is critical. The Romans framed the event not as violence, but as political unification. The Sabine Revenge war was inevitable, but the women's families had not forgotten. The outraged Sabines, led by their king Titus Tatius, assembled an army and marched on Rome. The city fortified itself. The key defense was the Capitoline Hill, which was betrayed by Tarpeia, daughter of a Roman commander. According to legend, she opened the gates in exchange for what they wore on their left arms: gold bracelets. Instead, the Sabines crushed her under their shields. From this tale comes the Tarpeian Rock, from which traitors were later executed. The battle for Rome, and the women who intervened. A fierce battle broke out between Romans and Sabines. It raged around the fortress with casualties on both sides. Then something happened that no one expected. The Sabine women, now wives of Roman men, ran between the two armies. They stood between fathers and husbands, between sons and grandfathers, pleading for the bloodshed to stop. "We are now part of both peoples. You cannot destroy each other without destroying us." These words, all sources agree, moved both sides to lay down their arms. The women had stopped the war. Peace and unity. A people united. After the ceasefire, Romulus and Titus Tatius agreed not only to end the war, but to unite their peoples. They ruled jointly as dual kings. The Sabines were granted equal rights in Rome. Their leaders joined the Senate, and their families became part of Rome's noble lineage. Livy writes, "From two enemies, a single nation was born." This was more than an alliance. It was a foundational political vision. Rome as a city that absorbs other peoples, integrates them, and makes them something greater. This union became a model for Roman policy for centuries, a controversial and surprising alliance that still echoes today. The rape of the Sabine women is one of the most controversial yet pivotal myths in Roman culture. It blends violence and cunning, but also wisdom and reconciliation. In it, women are not mere victims, but the ones who transformed a conflict into a lasting alliance. Romans viewed this story as the origin of their nation's capacity to unify. It lives on in art, from ancient reliefs to Renaissance paintings. The image of a Sabine woman raising her arms between two armies remains one of the most powerful in Western visual history. Even in modern Rome, this myth reminds us, true greatness lies not in strength, but in the one who chooses to end its use. Thank you for staying with the story until the end. A like, comment, or follow is the power that keeps our channel growing. More stories await.